What's going on YouTube? JTuserborn here, and welcome back to another edition of After the Movie. So earlier on today, I got around to seeing Sonic the Hedgehog 2, the sequel to Sonic the Hedgehog, which came out in 2020. And the movie stars Jim Carrey, James Marsden, Ben Schwartz, Idris Elba, and a bunch of other people from the first film come back, and new people are introduced to voice the characters of Tails. And yeah, so I guess quickly I'll give my thoughts on the first film really quick. I rewatched it again this week before the new movie came out. I quite enjoyed the first film. It was a nice surprise, genuinely a good video game adaptation. And I think if you like the first film, you're going to like the sequel. And in fact, I think maybe even some detractors of the first film will come around to liking the sequel a bit more. I don't exactly know, but from what I saw, the crowd and the audience I was with was laughing and enjoying it. I was one of those people laughing and enjoying the movie along with them. And I think it's a pretty solid movie, which is really crazy to think about. Two straight Sonic the Hedgehog movies are both pretty solid stuff. The highlights, of course, Sonic voiced by Ben Schwartz, really good this time around, just has a really likable on-screen presence. Tails is brought in. Tails is very cute and likable too. Idris Elba comes in as Knuckles, real steam stealer. Kind of in some ways, the writing is similar to Drax in Guardians of the Galaxy, with the way some of the humor kind of plays out with him kind of like, not trying to be funny, but like just like the way he reacts to like certain customs and that is pretty funny. And of course, Jim Carrey as Robotnik, pitch perfect casting. He is having the time of his life. I've heard rumblings that he's going to be done retiring from acting after this movie, or I don't think that's going to be true. I think he'll come back for something. I think it might come back if they do a third one, which they've already kind of announced ahead of time. I don't see him being fully done with the role. But then again, they left it on a note to where if he doesn't come back, then it'd be fine story-wise, but I think Robotnik will probably end up coming back. There's also going to be a Knuckles TV series on Paramount+. So Sonic the Hedgehog, it's been a success in terms of the video game series. I remember that original design came out and everyone was just like, and then they listened to the feedback from people. They actually listened to the constructive criticism, redesigned Sonic, and that saved that first movie. So yeah, the plot this time around takes place after the events of the first movie. So you remember at the end of the first film, Dr. Robotnik got sent to that mushroom planet, and he's kind of trapped by himself, but he had Sonic's quill, and he had his extreme intelligence, and so he kind of used his intelligence to like send kind of like a beacon of energy, which then prompted other characters, Knuckles and a few other people, to kind of come to his location. But he basically makes a deal with Knuckles to take him to where Sonic is, because Knuckles and his tribe has issues with Sonic, and his tribe, you know, the owl tribe from like the first movie. Sorry if I don't remember all the names. Like my experience with Sonic the Hedgehog, I watched some of the animated shows. I think, well, actually there was 2 animated shows if I'm not mistaken. There's been a ton of video games over the years. Sonic the Hedgehog was probably the first video game I ever played on the Sega Genesis, like now that I think about it. So like I've known Sonic for years. I don't know all the lore and everything about it, but I'm familiar with a lot of the kind of characters, and I know who Robotnik is. There's nods to the game sprinkled throughout this thing. And I think fans of the Sonic lore are definitely going to get really into this thing. So yeah, like I said, Robotnik comes back with Knuckles. They kind of form a little bit of a team, and then it's Sonic and Tails versus Robotnik and Knuckles, and they got to find like the Master Emerald, which is like all the Chaos Emeralds kind of fused into one, because it's a source of unlimited power. So that's your gist of your thing. You still have the characters kind of from the first movie, like James Marsden, not Marsters. I was going to make that mistake again. Boy, they both have similar last names, Marsden, Marsters. But yeah, James Marsden, Cyclops from the X movies. He's kind of pushed aside with his wife and that. They go on a Hawaiian vacation. And honestly, like, it's kind of for the better, because the movie focuses on Sonic and Tails and their dealings with Dr. Robotnik. It's really good stuff. And then you kind of bring in the other characters, not quite as interesting, although there is some funny material with them, particularly a wedding scene where you have the Donut Lord, that's Marsden, his like sister-in-law is getting married, and the twist involving that, I don't want to give it away for those who haven't seen it, is really funny. And it's just one of those like batshit crazy things to where it's like, oh, okay, that actually had me laughing quite a bit in the theater. There's some really funny stuff in this thing, particularly with his sister-in-law. Like, I thought she had the biggest laughs. Although, like, there's a point in the movie where Sonic kind of disappears for like 10-15 minutes, and it's just like, let's focus on these side characters like that barely did anything in the first movie. But it still was kind of funny, so I kind of found myself enjoying it. But like, the thing I like about this one a little bit more is we go a little bit more cosmic with it, and it's just kind of Sonic and Tails kind of doing some things, going through various temples, fighting Robotnik and his giant robotic monsters, Jim Carrey going as insanely over the top, like Batman Forever levels. I was just having a fun time with this thing. Yeah, not all the jokes work. There's some cringy things. There's like a dance-off with Sonic and Knuckles in some place in Siberia, which just comes right abruptly out of nowhere. But then again, it's like so out of nowhere and crazy that I did find myself chuckling quite a bit at some bits of it. But there's some kind of cringy bits. But I understand some of that stuff is geared towards like the younger audiences. And there's some stuff for older audiences too. Like there was one joke where I found myself laughing pretty loudly. I think I was the loudest laugh. Robotnik makes a Limp Bizkit joke, and that to me like had me laughing quite a bit. I don't know if anyone else did, but to me I found that to be kind of funny. And of course this thing is setting up more stuff because we got Sonic the Hedgehog 3, which they're going to make. And of course you have the Knuckles TV series. I won't give away what it is, but it's in like a mid-credit sequence. There's nothing after the credits. There's like one extra scene. But if you're a Sonic fan, they've showcased Tails, they've showcased Knuckles, they've showcased Sonic, they've showcased Robotnik. Who's the other most popular Sonic character that they haven't gotten around to? There you go. There's your hint for the ending. But overall consensus, Sonic the Hedgehog 2, I think worked pretty well. I think it is a little bit better than the first movie because they're allowed to kind of expand things a little bit more. Yeah, it's a little bit longer. Some things are pretty kind of cliched in that, but there's enough kind of twists and turns. A really fun dynamic with Sonic and his new friends. And it doesn't spend too much time with James Marsden and like that family to where it's like, yeah, bring back Sonic. Because like I said, the stuff that they do with them turns out to be really funny with the reveal of it all. Like that to me was the funniest part of the movie, surprisingly. So yeah, I think overall, I think families will enjoy this thing. Kids are definitely going to enjoy it. There's kids in the theater where I was at. They were laughing and cheering with Sonic and his friends and all that. Like I said, there's a real likability with these movies. They're innocent, they're likable. Sometimes that's all I need. It's nice to have something a little bit different in terms of like, I guess, the superhero genre. We got one that's like Sonic's just a kid, and I think that's what makes it stand out from other things. He's just a kid. He now has a new group of friends. He's got a family. Like he even calls like Marston like his dad by the end of the movie. So yeah, like there's a nice like family dynamic to it all where they're all kind of involved. Some crazy stuff happens. You got Jim Carrey just going super over the top, Batman Forever, Riddler stuff. Like there's one point where he kind of turns green from the Master Emerald, which you've seen kind of in the trailer a bit, and he builds a giant mech robot, but he's like turning like Riddler green. He's just going more over the top. Got his mustache in that. Robotnik's a lot of fun. I think Jim Carrey just clearly is enjoying himself when playing this character, and it's nice. Like I say, he's allowed to go like do like whatever he wants on screen, and there's just some really funny stuff with him in the movie. So, and like I said, the characters are all likable. Sonic is a really likable lead. Tails especially is just so damn adorable. I just want to give him a hug. And Idris Elba's Knuckles, like the voice fits the character quite well. He's a real badass, like some of the things they can do. There's some pretty cool action sequences involving Knuckles. And he's funny too. Like he's generally funny. Like I said, these are likable movies. And you know what? I could use some likable like bits of escapism in today's day and age. They don't try and like push the envelope, I guess, but like they're still likable and fun. So yeah, those are my thoughts on Sonic the Hedgehog 2. Like I said, I guess I can get into spoilers really quickly. The mid-credits scene, like I said, Robotnik's, so here you go, spoiler warning at this moment in the video. So the thing is with Robotnik, he basically kind of disappears. Sonic turns like, absorbs the power of the Master Emerald and basically becomes Super Saiyan Sonic. I'm not sure what the terminology is in the games, but he becomes golden and that, which is really cool to see. I'm like, oh, it's Super Saiyan Sonic. And then he takes down Robotnik. Robotnik's fate is left kind of ambiguous, but Agent Stone's still around, which by the way, like Agent Stone clearly is in love with Robotnik. And it's still some funny stuff. It's like with him in that. So yeah, he kind of goes off and does his own thing. And then the mid-credit sequence is who I was expecting. I'm like, okay, well, we got Knuckles and Tails in 2. Who's the thing they're going to tease for the next thing? I'm like, it's got to be Shadow. It's got to be Shadow. And yes, it's Shadow. And everyone's like, Shadow! It's Shadow! Oh my god, it's Shadow! Like, everyone in the theater was kind of like, yep, I kind of figured as much. So yeah, Shadow is setting up for the next movie. It definitely felt a little bit forced and kind of tacked on at the end of this thing, but I'm excited to see what they're going to do with Shadow, because Shadow's just cool. It's kind of like the Spider-Man Venom thing, where Venom's like kind of like this reflection, like, you know, like has that Spider-Man connection, but you're seeing something cooler. Like Shadow's just kind of like a more badass character than Sonic. So I'm excited to see what they do with Shadow next, so that should be interesting. But anyways, that's all I have to say about this film. If you've seen Sonic the Hedgehog 2, let me know your thoughts on it in the comment section down below. Be sure to like this video, share it with your friends, subscribe to the YouTube channel for more content, hit the bell for notifications. Be sure to come back next time. Not sure what video I'm going to do next, but you bet your ass that it's on the way or something like that. But yeah. All right, well, that's all I got to say. As always, take care now. Bye-bye then, and I will see you all in the next video. Peace.